Well, good morning. Easy to wake up this morning. Oh, man. Yankees find a way to lose. Actually, they found lots of ways to lose. I don't know what they were doing in that fifth inning. If you didn't see it, I suggest you go watch it if you need a good laugh this morning because that fifth inning was absolutely hilarious. I don't know. I don't think there'll ever be an inning like that in professional baseball. In the World Series with everything on the line, and the Yankees just make a comedy of errors. They lose their 5-run lead. It becomes 5-5 and yet they take the lead back in the eighth. So they're up 6-5, and it looks like they're going to freaking get away with their implosion. Cole was a dog. He came back out there and threw 2 innings after that fifth inning. Just what, or not quite 2 innings, an inning and 2/3. But it wasn't enough. Dodgers get the lead back in the eighth inning. Trinan goes out there, absolute dog in the eighth inning. Finishes out a great performance for the entire postseason. Awesome. And then what did they do in the ninth inning? My favorite pitcher on the Dodgers, probably my favorite pitcher that's not in an Oriole uniform, Walker Bueller, ice in his veins. Those curveballs that he threw, it's fitting that Verdugo's, God, I can't stand that guy, that he would strike out to end the game. Just nasty curveballs, nasty. But what he did on that, who was it before Verdugo? Wells. God, he humiliated Wells. He had Wells just swinging at anything he wanted him to. He just masterful. What he did with those three batters in the ninth inning, masterful. Got him exactly what he wanted. Ground out or pop up, and then 2 strikeouts to end it. I hate the Yankees so much. So to see Dave Roberts celebrate and knowing all the crap that their fans have been doing, and look, it's not all their fans, but there's enough of them that they always stand out there in New York. And good. Glad that they lost yesterday. Glad they lost at home. Glad the Dodgers won. So that's that. We can continue talking about that all day if anybody wants me to, because I could go on and on and on about how great that was. It's been such a frustrating. I mean, well, the Orioles is like, God, it's like July, August. It's been like 4 months of frustration of baseball. And yesterday was, yeah, pure joy watching the Yankees lose. And hopefully we'll set them up to lose Soto in the offseason. And I don't think their roster is that great anyway. So I thought they overachieved this year. And that's it for baseball. So no more baseball for a while. I'm not doing Orioles offseason talk. Nobody wants me to be negative in the wintertime. I don't want to be negative. So whatever happens, happens. And we'll talk about it in March. Let's figure out why the hell the Jets are favored, because I think I know why. Well, at least there's logic why they're favored. But when you just look at it from a gambling perspective here, if I'm betting a game tonight, I'm not betting the Jets. I don't care what metric I'm looking at. I'm just not betting the Jets. So let's just get that out of the way. No way I'm betting the Jets. Whether they win or not, no way. Not doing it. Now, can I pull the trigger on the Texans? I want to, and as I'm about to talk, I'm leaning towards not doing it. So by the time we'll see where I'm at, 8 o'clock tonight. But here's why I'm not pulling the trigger on the Texans. It's a Thursday night game on the road. I would say is 70% of the reason. I feel like there's so many things to bet on. If you're trying to make money, if you're doing it for fun, sure, bet whatever you want. But if you're trying to make money tonight, I don't feel like it's the best value to take a road NFL team on a Thursday night, no matter what the situation is. Just doesn't. I just don't like it. I just don't, for the obvious reasons. They shouldn't be playing football on Thursdays anyway. But there's just not enough. Yeah, it feels like a crapshoot. So I don't like it 70% for that reason. But for the X's and O's reason, this is what I came up with for why the Jets are favored. You got to look at last year's game. It was Texans at New York. Stroud got knocked out of the game. The Texans could not move the ball at all. And you have a dome team going out on the road. Their weapons, yeah, their receivers are all banged up. The thing the Jets do the best is cover the receivers. They have a good secondary. But then you're like, well, the Texans can run the ball and the Jets don't stop the run. So why wouldn't the Texans control the ball on the ground? And I feel like the answer to that becomes the Thursday night / the home field advantage. You got a dome team going to the turf. And maybe the Texans do run all over them. But and maybe the last piece about it of why I'm staying away is at this point in the season, when a team has to win the game, right? Because both teams don't have to win. The Jets have to win the game. They literally have to win. They go 2-7, the season's over. Texans don't have to win the game. You could argue that This game is not irrelevant to the Texans, but man, it's not a division game. They just beat the Colts last week. Their division looks like it's going to be theirs, although Flacco's playing on Sunday, which should be fun. But it's not. They won't have the same sense of urgency. I still, if you made me bet, would take the Texans, but to actually bet money on it, yeah, I'm just gonna chalk it up to a weird situation. If it was Sunday afternoon, I think I would ignore the home team, the home advantage, the dome on the turf, all that stuff, or dome to grass, excuse me. But um, it's just the Thursday night. I'm just gonna talk. Just not gonna do it. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But the Jets are favored by a point and a half, 2 points somewhere. My gut tells me it'll be even spread by the time they kick it off because most people that are gonna bet tonight, if they haven't already bet and they're about to bet, I think we'll take the Texans. At least that's the conversation I'm having with people. It's like, why are the Jets favored? Why are the Jets favored? Now, what you'll hear if you're listening to a bunch of goofballs talk today is, sharp money's coming in here and the sharp money's going in there, and the smart people know this. Okay, you let me know who those smart people are, and I'll explain to them. I'll explain to you why they're not so smart. It doesn't exist. I know I haven't talked about this in a while. This is the perfect game where they're going to tell you the public's on the Texans and the sharp money's on the Jets. Just ignore it. I swear on and everything that's holy that does not exist. Okay, it does not exist. It does not exist. There's no degree to become a sharp bettor. There's no certification to be a sharp bettor. You just call yourself a sharp bettor and you market yourself that way. And if you do a good enough job, people will believe you. That's it. Now you can win betting on sports by looking at certain edges. There's EV betting. There's all kinds of different things to do. You show me something that has worked consistently for several years in a row, and I'll believe it. Outside of that, it just doesn't exist. People win, people lose, they go on streaks, they have their own algorithms and whatever nonsense, but nothing's bulletproof. It's just not. So if you want to buy into that, go for it. Do whatever you want to do. But I suggest investing very, very minimal money into it because I've been doing this for a long time. I have yet to meet a single soul who has a plan that's like investing in the market where, oh yeah, you can invest in this and 3, 5 years from now, you're at least going to get 4, 6, 8% on your money. Like that does not exist in sports betting. And I hate the people that try to present it like it does. So with that being said, there's no such thing as sharp money on the Jets. There's just people that think the Jets are going to win. People think the Texans are going to win. Most people by the end of the night, my gut tells me the money will end up on the Texans because it's going to be hard to bet on the Jets based on the fact that they're losing people lots of money all the time. But I think they set the line this way because there are still a lot of New York money and Aaron Rodgers fans. And if they made the Texans 2-point favorites, I could see a lot of people going the other way and saying, man, it's going to be a letdown for the Texans, Jets home underdog. So by making the Jets the favorite, they actually probably balanced out the money more so. And then now they'll have to adjust it as we get closer to game time. So that's my analysis on the lines and the game. I'm going to ultimately stay away and just root for Rodgers to screw it up at the end. But the Texans are getting away with winning a lot of games in ugly fashion, not doing a lot of things correctly, but record's still good. So we'll see how that game plays out. As far as the rest of the games this weekend, just going to I can't figure this one out. This is the one where if you like this game, I'd bet it right this second because I have a feeling this could go all the way up to 3 by the time they kick it off. The Chargers are favored by 1.5 at Cleveland. Listen, if you watched the game, if you did not watch the game last week, fine. You just want to look at Jameis Winston's numbers, good for you. But us Ravens fans who watch the game, the Chargers are going to destroy Cleveland this week. I don't know what the path to victory is for Cleveland. They didn't have a path last week, except we just dropped every ball that they threw to us. Like Jameis Winston's really bad. Really, really, really bad. I don't know what he was saying before the game. I don't know if that helps him get excited. I've never seen this before. Like he's the most awkward, strange person, and he's the quarterback. Like maybe that'll work in a shootout against a bad defense, or I don't know, a defense that can't catch the ball on a Sunday. But it's not working against the Chargers. They're going to be way too disciplined. Chargers aren't going to give up a lot of points, and Winston will throw interceptions. I have a feeling the line is like that because Winston's numbers were good last week. Chargers on the road. East Coast, I don't care. I love the Chargers in that spot. It's a 1 o'clock game. Right now, they're 1.5 point favorites. I don't know how I'm getting off of that game. That's the game that jumps out at me more than anything, as far as a line movement and as far as like the Browns suck. Like Winston sucks. Yeah, he like I said, in a shootout against a really bad defense, they're playing the Panthers. Sure, maybe Jameis Winston does great things against the Chargers. No way. I really like the Chargers in that spot. There was one other game that jumped out at me. Oh, Cowboys Falcons. Falcons favored by 3 at home against Dallas. Dallas is getting to that spot where nobody wants to bet on them because they just keep letting you down, letting you down. They lose on Sunday night. I pushed it for me, but most people probably had it at 5.5 because if you didn't buy it, that's where the line was. Falcons favored by 3 at home. That feels like that's going up to 3.5 or 4 by the time they kick it off. So if you like the Falcons, I'd grab that now. Hard for me to read the Falcons though, because I feel like I'm getting them wrong a lot this year. They impressed me last week winning at Tampa. Cousins impressed me big time. I really thought Tampa was going to beat them. So if you like the Falcons this week, I would jump on them. They're 3 point favorites at home against Dallas. And I feel like the money will end up pushing that to 3.5 or 4. Um, I don't know how I'm getting away from Flacco on Sunday night. I got a few more days to think about it. Spreads 5. That's what I want to talk about here for a minute before I get out of here. Is Flacco is the thank God the Colts did this. This is why I bet on the Colts before the season. Some people, some I guess maybe if I want to make an analogy into other aspects of life, some people that are decision makers belong being decision makers, and other people just don't. And you recognize that in middle management or ownership all the time. I'm sure anybody listening is like, yeah, I know this guy is a great decision maker, and this other guy is terrible at it. And it happens in sports too, where you're constantly like, I don't agree with that decision. But the Colts, I don't think anybody that's watching football would have been like, you know what, let's just throw Anthony Richardson out there against the zero blitz on Sunday night against the Vikings and Brian Flores. Like, that's just not going to work out. I was talking about with J Mart on Tuesday. So, big credit to Steichen and the GM with the Colts, ownership with the, well, not the ownership because God knows what he's up to, but whoever's making the decision over there in Indianapolis, I'm assuming it's Steichen saying like, listen, man, my team's good enough to win. I'm not doing this right now. I love this quarterback. Maybe he'll get it together. I don't know, but I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I got everybody in the offense looking at me like, what are we doing here? And I'm either going to say, hey, well, we drafted this quarterback, and this is my quarterback, and I drafted him, and I'm the smartest offensive coordinator in the game, so I'll fix it. He can do that, or he can remove the ego and say, you know what? I'm just going to let Flacco be the quarterback. I'll design the offense. I got 3 receivers that are really good: Downs, Pittman, and Pierce. They don't have a great tight end. They got great backs. The offensive line's actually really good. They just can't block when Richardson doesn't know where he's going to end up. And how do you block? I mean, we're not going to talk offensive line for 15 minutes a day, but last time I checked, the offensive lineman is supposed to keep the guy in front of him. Don't let him get to the quarterback. Great. Well, that's because the quarterback's supposed to drop back and be somewhat in the same area. You move your feet a little bit, but not what Anthony Richardson's doing. He is so nervous. He's jumping over here, jumping over there. And next thing you know, it's not a clean pocket. And then you watch the same game, same team. Flacco's the quarterback, and he's got a great pocket. Colts have a great offensive line. I like the Colts a lot against the Vikings. 5 points is way too many points. So definitely going to jump on Flacco there as we get closer to the weekend. Yeah, I guess that's about it for today. Tonight, do a recap. So it'll either come out tonight or tomorrow morning after this Jets-Texans game, because I really want to watch this game and talk about it, share my thoughts on that, and let's see, what else? No more baseball. So I've been doing baseball now. It's the end of March. Long season for baseball. Long ride for me. Not doing the Orioles next year, that's for sure. So I got to figure out my baseball plan, but that was not a ton of fun. I really did not enjoy most of the baseball season, to be honest. So last night was really fun. Really enjoyed that. I could carry on all day. That was just great story after great story. And Mookie Betts, everybody talks about Soto and Ohtani and Judge and Freeman. But man, to me, for my money, Betts just super clutch. Always does the right thing. Plays right field. Plays shortstop. Plays center. He probably play any position you ask him to play. And great guy too. Just a lot of respect for him listening to him talk. So congratulations to the Dodgers. And yeah, I'll go through all the games on Sunday as normal. Cool. Good luck to you guys tonight, whatever you're betting. Good luck. I'll see you guys tomorrow.